Uh, so I just told Haley that I wanted to ask her about like why she decided to do this and, you know, what the needs were in the community and then kind of challenges and things like that. So Haley, what did cause you to?
Well, I definitely, in our small town, we were in need of a center. The closest center to us is Bloomington Normal. The majority of our families in El Paso work in Bloomington or in Peoria, so they work at the larger companies there, and there is probably 4 or 5 in-home daycares in El Paso, but there's no center, no large facility for them. So I, from a young age, always thought that a daycare center would be a really rewarding job. I thought it would be something that I would really like to do. So I always had the dream, but I kind of waited a little while. I had my own children, and then kind of this is just a good stepping place for me. I was able to, the building itself kind of fell in my lap on time of when it was being sold and when I was graduating and everything, that it really all just, the timeline worked out well. I felt that we have great in-homes in town that do a really wonderful job, and they're licensed and they do everything right, but they have a ratio that they have to keep and they fill up. And then there's families that are going to not licensed places or don't have childcare. Some of them are driving into Bloomington for care, and it was just, I felt like this program would be really, really beneficial to our small town and to all of our families. So
That's great. And how big is El Paso?
There's about 3,000 people in El Paso.
Okay.
And then we consolidate with Gridley for our school district. So I'm not sure exactly how many that adds, but then we have a ton of small towns around us that also, you know, drive into the larger city, you know,
right,
places for work. So
what do you anticipate the response will be in terms of?
My facility itself can hold 73 children. That seems completely overwhelming for me for the first year. So I hope, my goal is 30 to start, and that's spread out through all of my ages. I think that my before and after school care will have the largest number, because that's a big need in El Paso. We have our rec department has a small before and after school program that is available in town, but there's still a lot of families that need that care for that age. So I think that will probably be my largest response right off the bat. And then I also have just already from families that have contacted, I've had probably 4 or 5 pregnant mothers who are just wanting to line that care up for when they have need it. So I think that I will be able to hit my goal of 30 to start, and then grow from there over the next year or two. I definitely want to grow. I don't want to start and open my doors with all of my capacity. I think that would just be so overwhelming.
Well, and you can work out bugs. And,
exactly, yes.
And so you had to remodel this building.
Yes, so this building used to be a restaurant. When I walked in, it was completely furnished as a restaurant. Like, I had it down to the tables, chairs, kitchen appliances, everything. And so I had to sell all of that or get rid of it. And then between my mother and myself and some really good friends, we have completely remodeled it all.
You did it yourself?
We did the majority of it. Amazing. I don't know how to drywall. I don't know how to do some of those things. So we did all of the demo, and then once we had it down to concrete floors and just the original, well, even the original ceiling we took out in the front area. So everything that we could remove, we did. And then I had a contractor, a friend of mine, who came in, and then they built the walls and stuff that I built. So all of my classrooms up front, that was a huge dining room, big open area. So that is all brand new. So,
which is so interesting. You had to have so much vision to of be able to see the possibilities.
Yeah, and that is all from just stuff that I learned in my classes, just through Heartland and all of that, and also just touring and going around and seeing what other facilities had to offer, and a lot of different, just research and building it from that. There's definitely things. I've taught preschool at a church here in El Paso for 7 years, and we always joked that how much we would like a sink in our classrooms, like how many times we need to just wash our hands. And that was something that then when I was building, I said each classroom will have a sink. Like, that's so needed.
Yeah.
And it's a little thing that you don't think you necessarily will need, but how much you would actually use it and stuff. So little things like that. I had a notebook that I just would write, definitely this, or we don't want this. Now, the one challenge that I did have once we started hiring work done was making some of those men understand that little children were going to be using it, because I'd come in and I'd say, that sink is too high. Like, there's the people that are going to use it are this tall. So, and then,
right.
But they were just doing a job that they didn't realize that. And when my toilets were installed, they're like, is this a joke? Like, these are so little. And so things like that was definitely a challenge to make them understand, like, everyone that's going to use it is tiny, tiny people. Like, they're not.
Right.
So that was one of the biggest challenges. And then also just the timeline, like wanting it all done by this point. Every day that we're after that, it delays me moving to the next step to then get licensed and everything. So my original goal was March 1st, and obviously we're past that, but not too far past it. So I feel like it's still doable. But.
Well, and doing all this, you're a parent, you were a student through
yes, I am a single mother of two, and that is, my children have definitely been troopers through it all. My goal was just to show them that hard work pays off, and that will, that we have to work hard for it, and we will, accomplish something. Now they kind of it will be interesting when we actually have to have them here for care, because they kind of run the show right now and think that they can just, my daughter's 7, she thinks she can just come and hold all the babies. That's what she's going to do. And I'm like, there's kind of regulations on that. You can't be in there. So that might be a little bit of a rude awakening for them, but we'll cross that bridge when we have to.
Yeah, but what an amazing thing for them to see.
They definitely see that they've seen each step. So,
any other things that kind of surprised you, or either in a positive or a challenging way?
Let's see. It definitely surprised me, just the work that it took to, my DCFS rep has been so helpful and so wonderful, but the steps that it takes to actually become licensed, to do all of that, there are a lot of hoops to jump through and a lot of regulations you have to follow. And I knew that it would be challenging and it will be hard, but it surprises me sometimes, just the difference in all the requirements and everything that it takes to become a quality care center. It definitely it's there for a purpose, and it's doing what it needs to, but it's definitely a challenge and very surprising.
And what are you most excited about?
I'm most excited to actually get kids in here, and that is my passion. To be around all the little people all the time is definitely, like, they're so rewarding and so encouraging to you personally. So I would say that will be the most exciting, to meet each of the new families and to provide the care that I need, or they need. So.
Is there any advice that you would give, when you think about people who are considering different careers, or kind of, thinking about early childhood? Is there any advice that you...
Well, my first advice and what I learned was stay with it. Finish it out, do it. I went to school for a year, quit for 7, and then went back. And it definitely would have been a whole lot easier if I would have just finished it from the beginning. Just watch and keep your eyes open, because you learn so much just through all of your peers and through the environments that you're in. I cannot even believe how many times, just from my 2 months of practicum that I did at the CDL, how many times I have referenced back to that, and just the experience that I've had there with a child, with a family, with the facility itself. So just definitely just open your eyes and see everything that's around you. I know in the midst of all of the homework and all of the stuff that goes along with school, you kind of get distracted and everything, but you're learning so much that you don't realize you'll learn and use once you actually get into the field.
Right. So, that's great. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add, or
remember me if you're looking for a job?
Yeah, Haley, that's so.
Yes, I'm here, and I will be growing as the next years come. So I'm sure there will be many more opportunities for employees, and anyone's more than welcome to come out and tour it and ask some questions too. So if they have any questions,
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.